5-on-5, we're pleased to be joined by Rich Rosenthal, the Assistant Parks and Recreation Director for Medford Parks and Recreation. Rich, good to see you again. How are you?
Great to be here. I'm well. How are you?
Happy 2016, doing well, thank you. So you guys just recently put together a 2015 economic report on U.S. Cellular Field. How good has this been to the city of Medford?
Well, it's part of our job to measure what the return on investment is for this major facility for the city, and we do this every year, and 2015 was a record year in just about every measure, whether it was economic impact, games played, number of visiting teams, that type of thing.
Okay, and how much originally did it cost the city to put this together? I know there have been multiple upgrades and all of that, so roughly how much money has the city put into it?
U.S. Cellular Community Park, built in 4 construction phases, the grand total is $32.5 million. And so far, through 7 full years of operation, just the visitor spending alone has almost equaled that amount. So
okay.
you talk about return on investment, that it didn't take that long for there to be a direct benefit in spending from just the visiting teams.
Okay, yeah, that's right, just the visiting team. So 7 years, it's been 7 years now? That's pretty incredible.
Unbelievable, but true.
Okay,
Back
wow.
when I had hair.
Nicely done. Okay, so how big? It's as many people know, this is mostly turf. There's not costing the city a lot of water to water this. There's no grass, or there's very little grass. Beyond that, what kind of maintenance fees, overhead is there for it?
Well, the cost to maintain a 132-acre park is still substantial. It's in the $300,000 range per year. Most of that is salaries, with 3 full-time employees assigned to maintaining it. And it's well maintained, and that's one of the things that we hear consistently from our local teams and visiting teams, how well maintained this park is. But there is still a maintenance cost, and in many of the tournaments, there is a profit margin on it, and so some of the indirect costs are covered, but still it is a subsidy to maintain that park. But it's not. It's fairly unusual for parks to be able to have a revenue stream to come back. A lot of parks don't have revenue mechanism. So this is one that actually does a small portion of the activity proceeds do offset the maintenance cost. Hugely important for the city. Very nice. We're going to take a quick break. Much more in a moment. Stay with us.
Welcome back to our 5-on-5. Again, we're here with Rich Rosenthal, Assistant Parks and Recreation Director for Medford Parks and Recreation. So we're talking about U.S. Cellular, Rich, and it was banner year 2015. How much money did the city make on this?
Well, according to our estimates, which are based on questionnaire data, that the total economic impact estimated about $11.1 million, and that includes a ripple effect. So these are estimates. The visitor spending is $4.6 million. And that's really the key for us, is that we track this, and that does not include a ripple effect. So we use a methodology that's been refined in the Parks and Recreation world, and that we're very confident that we're just not throwing numbers out there. It's based on hard data.
Okay, and so obviously, as we mentioned, it was a banner year. Is that local and outside, or are all metrics up, if you will?
Well, for tournaments and events, about 45% of those teams are from outside of town. Of course, we operate the leagues, the adult softball leagues, the adult soccer leagues, and of course the club soccer plays out there. And still the lion's share of the use of the park is by local teams and local people, but it's the economic impact largely is derived from the visiting teams, and there were about 800 of them last year.
A lot of teams.
It's a record.
Good. And so, and you talked about it being a record. Were we hoping to break that this year, or was the last year a perfect storm?
Well, 2015, I think that record's going to stand for a few years, because we had an above average number of national and regional tournaments last year. And this year, we won't have as many, therefore it will be more difficult to break the record. But if we continue to have 20% local growth in the number of local teams and 4% visiting team count, we might be able to get there again with the normal number of tournaments here in the 2 or 3 years.
Very exciting, very nice. All right, so lastly, if anybody has any questions about U.S. Cellular, they want to find out, I don't know, they can get an event out there, reservations, anything like that.
Right, if they want to take a look at the numbers and the information, sportsmedford.com, look at the raw data. There may be some stat junkies like me out there want to see the
check
stuff.
Your numbers.
Yeah, and plus if you want to rent a field, get involved in the leagues, register teams for tournaments, sportsmedford.com.
Very good, Rich. Good to see you. Thanks so much
for having me.
Appreciate it. My pleasure. Stay with us. We'll be right back.